Welcome to Module 8 of the YouTube Video Ads section of Video Ads Academy. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the process of how to configure your video that you're going to be using with your ads. So I'm going to jump into the other channel that I created doing the other videos, this Tommy's News channel, if you will. And I'm going to jump in here to Video Manager. And we're going to look at this video here. So basically what I do is click edit. When you are configuring your video, basically you want to start here. You want to give a good title and you want to have a description. And I recommend wherever you're sending people to after they watch your video, you want to put a description here. Now, if you're doing the YouTube to cart shopping cart model with the video sales letter deal that we talked about in the other video, typically what I would put here in the description box is just some supporting information, about the video and why they need to watch it, or one trick that we use where we would say like, benefit one at 4 minutes and 31 seconds, or whatever it is. And that benefit would be, the one thing that you don't need, the one thing that you should never say to if you're trying to get a job or whatever the case may be. And I would put like, 2 or 3 of those in there, just to kind of give people, because they're going to be seeing those descriptions. But otherwise, if it's like a lead gen deal, where you're trying to get people to, go off of YouTube, and you're trying to do lead gen, video lead gen, then the first thing I put here in the description is I put the link that they link out to, and I would tag that as a tracking, link in order to track where they coming from. So basically I use something like Google URL. If you're using Google Analytics, so Google URL Builder, right? And then what I could do is I could take, my website. Let's just say I'm sending someone to TommyPowers.com, right? And I'm gonna copy that and I would paste it here, right? And then what I do is campaign source, I might put YouTube. And medium, I might put CPC or something like that. But usually I would probably put like video ad. And you can name these however you want to. Campaign term, I probably don't necessarily need one. Differentiate campaign content, I would put wherever the video name is, video name, video name, and the number or what have you. And then I might put, the name of the campaign, maybe it's a video leads one. Right? And that's basically, I know that it come from YouTube. I know that it's a video ad that I was running. I know what video name that it came from, and then I would put description. Or I might put campaign term. I might say description here. And it's really, however you want to do it. But basically, when you want to create a system where when you're looking at your Google Analytics data, that when you filter by these particular UTM tracking, then you know what they mean, so you have to make, whatever you want it to be so you'll know. And then I'll click like, submit. Sometimes I'll take this link and I may even like shorten it with like a URL shortener or like Pretty Links. If you use WordPress, you would just have like, your domain / click here or whatever the case, whatever you want it to be, and then you can shorten it so it don't take up so much space in your description box. And then I would just paste, that link here, or if I made it into like a pretty link, maybe I made it like video, the name of the video, I might just put that there, and then that will redirect through this URL builder here. But basically, that's what you want to do at every point. Link you want to track, whatever tracking service that you're using. You want to track what people are clicking on. You want to get that data, okay? And then obviously the name, you would want to name it, something, whatever the name is. You want to list it publicly if you want to list it publicly. It depends on what you're doing. I find that if you're doing video sales letters, typically I will unlist this, and you can still drive ads to it. If you set it to private, you can't. If you set it to public, then it's a public deal, and people don't, some people pick up on sales messages, so I typically unlist it is the best way to go. And then, monetization, obviously you don't want to monetize it because you don't want people to do anything else on your video other than what you're trying to get them to do. If you monetize it with ads, these ads are going to distract your viewers. And then under the advanced settings, typically I turn off comments for the ads that I'm driving because, again, I'm a direct response guy, right? So I'm very aggressive with the type of ads that I run. And, sometimes people, they don't really, you're going to have people who like what you're doing. Those are going to be people that take action or want what you have because you're going to speak to their core needs or desires. And then you're going to have people that's going to hate, because they know that it's an ad and they're going to say derogatory things or whatever. So I turn this stuff off. I don't allow anyone to embed unless I'm going to embed this video somewhere else. And I might not necessarily want to notify my subscribers because it really just depends on your situation. That's when it's really kind of optional. Okay. And I never make my video statistics available publicly on the page because I don't want people to try to reverse engineer what I'm doing. The great thing about video ads as of the recording of this video is that there are no spy tools out there that people can spy on you. So the only thing they can do is kind of try to look on the surface of what you're doing and try to figure it out, try to reverse engineer what you're doing. But you give them as little information as you can because, if they want to reverse engineer what you're doing, that's all great. People going to knock you off. That's, competition. It is what it is. But don't give them any fuel. So I turn that off. And then once I have that, and I'll have a description here. Because I'm just going to, click change, add settings, and I'm going to click save changes. And now my video is updated, okay? Then the next thing you want to do when you're configuring your video is annotations. So I'm going to stop this. Now, basically, I have one already created. So what I'm going to do is I am going to delete and start over. So depending on what you're doing, right? I like these little notes. They're my favorite. They tend to be the ones that I think that work the best. And my favorite colors to use have been this red. I've used this blue. I usually like the. I've used, I think it's this blue. Okay. I've used, I think this dark green. And I think I've used, and you see me keep clicking on this thing over here because sometimes this thing gets stuck when you pick a color. If you don't come over here and it won't pop back down. So I'll click this blue and now I want to change it. You see I'm clicking on it and it's not changing. So sometimes I just have to click over here and come back and it'll change it. Okay. That's why you see me doing that. But anyway, those are the ones that I like. So I'll just pick red and I'll pick 16. That's the size. And I'll have my call to action. And you want it to be descriptive. You don't want, you want your call to action to speak to, if you're selling something, if it's a video sales letter, for example, you want to set it to say click here to order. And then I usually like to use like these little deals. I like to do just kind of give it a little more attention to it or what have you. Or maybe I might even, make these each capitalize. Okay. And this is real time, guys, so bear with me. I think you'll appreciate me kind of showing you the intricate, the really nitty gritty details of it. Because this little things like this, it makes a huge difference, And you can even make it bigger if you wanted to. So if you wanted the 28, then what you would have to do, you can see what I'm doing here is I'm spreading out this deal. Okay. And then what you can do is you can move it where you want it to be. Right. And typically if I'm doing like a video sales letter, I usually have it right up in here somewhere, something else you're doing. If you're doing where you want to subscribe, I might like push it off to the side over here. Right. Now, one thing I want to point out, we're going to be driving traffic to your channel page. When you're watching the videos, this little bar right here, it disappears and it shows up. And if you put this thing too far down here, when this bar comes up, it'll cover this thing where somebody can't click on it. So you got to be careful to make sure that you kind of ease it up a little bit, at least to where when that bar pops up, your link is still clickable. And you'll see what I mean on some other videos. You'll see what I'm talking about. But just keep in mind that be careful that you don't want to put this way down here because you don't want to get in the way of people being able to click. Okay. And then the next thing you want to do, you can like click here and you can like stretch this out to be wherever you want it, at what point in the video you want it in. Again, typically you want to have this, at the point at which your call to action is important. Whereas if it's a short teaser type video, then you may want to display this early and often. If you're doing like the video sales letter or the webinar deal or something like that, you may only want this to come up at a certain point in the video where your pitch starts, right? So, that's what you want. And then here you just click link. And then if you click into a website, you'll post your link and then boom, you can preview it. Okay. And if this is an order page, then obviously the checkout page has to be connected to your domain. So even if you're using a third-party shopping cart, what we use is what's called a pre-cart page. Okay. And basically, I think we talked about that in early on at the beginning of somewhere in the training. We talked about the pre-cart page. But basically, you want to use like a pre-cart page that you send them to, and then they can click on the pre-cart page and then go order. But you won't be able to use, if the domain is not associated with your channel, you won't be able to link to it. So that's the purpose of why you have to use a pre-cart page if you're using a third-party shopping cart. If you're using a shopping cart already and you got SSL and the whole nine, then you won't have any problems. You just have to make sure that you associate the website that your main website that you sell from is the one that you actually associate with your channel. Okay. Very, very important. Now, again, you can link to a video. You can paste a video here and you can start it at a certain point. You can link to a playlist, an actual channel, a Google Plus page. You can get people to subscribe. You just enter your YouTube username if you're doing subscriptions. And all of that'll matter. All of that will matter, for what you want to put here, depending on what your goal is. But basically, that's how you configure your annotation. So basically, info and settings and annotations are the main two that you want to configure. And then the last thing you want to do is you want to make sure it's saved, and you make sure that it's that you click publish. And then now that it's published, you can go actually watch your video. And let's jump ahead and boom, you see that? And it takes you out. If I click on it, oh, I know what I did wrong. I know exactly what I did wrong. So I can jump into it right here, annotations. I forgot to put the link back on it. Associated website. Right? And then I can save, publish. Then I can go watch the video. I want to jump ahead, boom, and it'll take me out to wherever I put that in there, right? So boom, you're pretty much done. Now the last thing you want to do, info and settings, is you want to create your custom thumbnail. And this is very, very important that you do that. And in the next video, I'm going to talk to you about custom thumbnails, you know, why it's important and how you can go about doing it, you know, some little tricks of the trade that I've learned from doing this to really help make your custom thumbnail stand out. So that's what we'll cover in the next video, and I'll see you then.